everyone, and welcome to Interview Line by Unakriti. We truly believe that everyone has multiple potentials, and if we give them right direction, we can take them to a space of much more than hobby or just an interest area. Today on Interview Line, we have Munish with us. Munish is a travel blogger, biker, and he took these passions not only in the hobby domain, but created something much larger, much bigger than that. And today he's the founder of the homestay in Himachal, and you'll get to hear about it more from him. A little bit more about him. Munish was born and brought up in a beautiful village in Himachal, and the good environment and education helped him get wonderful jobs in the cities. But his roots he was always connected with, and he never thought that he will ever go away from here, and he found ways to come back. So let's welcome Munish, and without wasting too much of time, let's ask him what his journey has been like. So Munish, welcome to Interview Line.
Thank you, Navita, and thank you for inviting me on Unakriti's YouTube channel. I'm glad to be here and like to share my experience with you guys.
Thank you. Thank you so much for making time and joining us today. So, Manish, tell us, how did it all begin for you when it comes to the space of exploring your multiple potentials? Was it a planned thing or it just happened for you? We would love to hear more.
Yeah, I would say that as we say that you don't do anything. It's the universe which guided you to the right places, and eventually you, in the end, you figure out that yes, it was in a planned way, but you didn't plan all that. Somebody has planned it for you. So the same thing happened with me as well. If I can go back some years back, about 10 years back, uh, I took a long distance trip with my office colleagues. It was a biking trip to Uttarakhand. And I can see that after this journey, after this trip, a lot of things changed in my life. First of all, though I was born and brought up in Himachal, which itself is a beautiful and a lot of mountains and treks and trails, but during my college times, I never explored that part so much. But when I finally found a job, I started exploring all that part with my friends. So yeah, so traveling is what I got into first, and things started to change from there. So from traveling, then to photography, to blogging, and things just started one by one, and I'm here today. So it's been an interesting journey so far.
That's wonderful to hear, Munish. That sometimes certain things which happen in our lives, they are not by design, but they just come with the flow. That's the reiteration of the point that you just made with that trip that you took with your friends, and how that became a turning point for you. So you said, with that came traveling, blogging, and a lot more. And we would definitely be curious to know what that lot more is. We know that you are an IT professional, but beyond that, which is that interest that excited you more and you took it on the line of monetization?
Yeah, so interesting question because I didn't plan anything for sure, as I said. So when I took this trip, it changed a lot of things, and I started to travel more because the first trip itself, I kind of found that this is something which I really like, and I want to continue that because that's makes me excited. I look forward to travel. I started designing my itineraries on my own. So with traveling, I wanted to relive those memories again. So I got into photography as well. So when I was traveling and then I was doing photography as well, so that both the combinations did give me an edge that I should write as well. So I joined certain forums where I was able to share my stories on different forums as well. And gradually, a lot of people started to approach me that they would also like to travel the way I travel. And so I started with friends. I tag along with friends, call them, okay, I'm going on this trip. So they'll tag along with me. And after some time, when I gained a lot of experience, sufficient experience that I could professionally do that, so I did monetize the traveling part to begin with, because I had done a lot of solo trips, be it biking trips, be it traveling by road, in a car, or on trekking trails. So I started taking groups on these trips with me, and monetized it to a certain extent.
Okay. So when you said that you started to take people on the biking trips, what was it like? Was it an organized setup? Was it an agency, or was it a club? What was it like for you to move beyond just your personal passion of travel, and enabling others to take that journey with you?
Yeah. So when I started traveling, so budget was one of the constraints. So I was working, and at the same time I wanted to explore a lot. Uh, so I wanted to keep that balance between explore more places and in a limited amount of budget. So I did started on a solo traveling, and biking was the immediate choice because I have limited amount of time, and it was good on budget as well. So when I started with the monetization part, I started with the biking club. I invited few of my friends to help me with the biking club as well, and we started offering services as in biking to other people as well, who wanted to travel to remote places and were looking for somebody who can design the trip and itineraries and don't want to get into the hassle of logistics and all. So I was managing all that part, managing logistics, creating itineraries, and after the trip is over, doing the photography editing as well, sharing those pictures with these guys and writing stories about that. And I gained a lot of experience while doing that, which eventually helped up in my later stages as well.
Yes, that's fantastic to hear because it's not easy. Planning a trip for yourself is one thing, but planning a trip which involves other people where you're charging them is another ball game altogether. And that too on a road adds up with the risks that come in. And I'm sure it required you to really go beyond what you knew and what you had been practicing for yourself, because taking responsibility of others is not that easy. So it's fantastic to know that how your passion for photography, travel, biking, solo travel actually converted itself into opening a biking club and then taking people along. So with that journey continuing, what's the focus area that you have right now in your life? And if at all you see all the things that you've been doing coming together in some way, we would be glad to hear and love to know more about that.
Yeah, definitely. So while traveling, it gives you a lot of experience, and as you said that doing traveling alone and with your friends is altogether different. And when you're taking responsibility of doing it professionally, and you're charging money from people and taking them on a long distance road trip, that's altogether a different ball game. There's a lot of responsibility on you, and the trips I was organizing was to the remote places, and which was more challenging as well. So traveling part still continues with me. I So eventually I moved on from there to establishing my own website now. It's called theexthan.com, and in this website, along with traveling, I offer other services as well, like photography tours. One of the important sections which I got into is homestays, and it's an interesting story why I got into homestays as well. Uh, as we were traveling with groups to different places and remote places in remote corners of the country, I eventually figured out that when we were staying in hotels and we were staying in guest houses and homestays, My personal experience was best with staying with homestays, and that triggered the idea that I also own a place in Himachal. It's a beautiful village. Right now, I'm there, and so I have a piece of land, and why can't I do that there as well? So I figured out there with this experience of traveling that what not to do when you are creating a homestay, and what is that to be expected as a traveler when you're coming to a homestay. So my focus area right now is homestays at the moment. We have already started in this direction for about 2 years. I've been running this homestay. We call it Dharohar, and we are in a process of constructing few more cottages in the same property. By the end of year, I hopeful that you would hear some more properties from Eksan as well. So that's the current focus area. Traveling has taken a little backseat at the moment, uh, maybe because of the COVID times as well. It's not recommended to travel so much at the moment, but I'm sure I'm going to continue with that as well.
Hmm. Wow. So a homestay. You said that you owned a place in Himachal, and the idea of having your homestay actually took birth while you were moving around and traveling, and your experiences in homestay. Tell us more about Eksthan as a property to explore, and the things that you said you offer other things as well. Uh, uh, what are the things that somebody can look forward to when they are visiting Eksthan?
Yeah, sure. So one of the primary things I was interested in when I ventured into the homestay thing is that I wanted to create something which will give an authentic experience to people. I also wanted the same thing when I was traveling. If I'm traveling to Uttarakhand or if I'm traveling to Rajasthan or, for example, Ladakh, I've stayed in homestays run by the locals, uh, and I wanted to create a similar experience of Himachal as well. I hadn't heard about many homestays which would offer authentic Himachali experiences. So I wanted to create a place so that people come from outside and they see what it is actually in Himachali homestay experience is. And uh, to add on to that, when they come and stay with us in the homestays, I would also like to offer them services like they can go on small trekking trails around the area. What are the different activities they can do around here? There is a small river nearby, so they can go and feed the fish, for example. There are nearby places where they can go and do adventure sports as well. They can go on beautiful hikes and trekking trails. Since I've been into photography, so I also do photography tours for people and guide them to spots which I've located personally, which are not there on any map, where you can go at a particular interval of a time in a day and get yourself beautiful pictures from that area. So these are the services which we are offering, and yeah, food is an integral part of an authentic experience. So food is 100% organic and authentic, made here freshly for every guest.
Wow. Wow, that's a fantastic experience. If somebody is visiting Himachal, getting this kind of experience is definitely not someone can get, by staying in a very fancy or a crowded place, as you said, it's in a remote area, and all the activities that you're offering. You also mentioned that while setting up Eksthan, your other interests have been coming into picture. I heard you share that because you have had passion for photography, you're offering photography tours now. You've enjoyed staying in homestays and you've constructed and created your own homestay. Because of your travel experience, now you're able to create itineraries for people and give them that authentic Himachali experience of not only places which are less explored, but food and all the things that make up travel really special. In your whole journey, Munish, a lot of times people want to do all of these things, or people want to do something, and they leave it in the domain of hobby, or they will start with something and leave it too soon because, it's not working out, they cannot make money, or they only think that the money can be made very soon in the journey. But here we do see that all your passions are coming together in some way. What would be your lessons or tips that you can offer to someone who, like you, may be interested in multiple things but don't know where to start, how to start, or if at all it will yield them something in the monetary terms or not? What would be some of the lessons that they can seek from you to get started on their journey?
Yeah, it's a very important question actually, and the list is long of experiences, but I'll try to sum it up in a short. Um, I think the most important part in an experience as in learning for me since last 10 years, since I'm doing all these stuff, is the most important part is how passionate you are about what you're doing. If you are getting into something just because somebody else is doing it and you think that, okay, I'll be able to get an extra income out of it, I don't think that is going to be a very wise decision in terms of a long term goal or long term plan, because uh, eventually, every morning when you wake up, if you don't have a passion to do that stuff, it will fizzle out in a year or two. So the first thing is that start something which you are passionate about and don't think about monetizing it in the beginning. Just do it as in passion and continue doing it. And eventually, when you start doing things, things start to turn up. You start to meet people. You start to look around. You'll do research. So eventually, things will come into place. Monetizing should not be your first priority. I would say for initially 1 or 2 years. Then you can probably look into it at a later stage. That how passionate you are. That is the first thing for me to start with. Uh, the second thing I would say it would be understanding the business. So if you're getting into one kind of a business, you should deeply have a knowledge about that business. What are the pros and cons? How much time you will be able to devote it to? A lot of people just leave everything what they're currently doing and start on a new journey. I'm not saying that is wrong, but for me, it was not a good idea. I don't personally see it's a very good idea. Uh, for a certain amount of time, I'm still doing both the things parallelly. I'm still a full-time IT professional, and I'm still doing a lot of other activities and taking other my passions. So, understanding about what kind of business you are getting into, which is really gonna help you in long term. That's my second thought would be about that. Uh, on the third front, about would be what is your support system when you're doing or venturing into certain things. Uh, For me, my support system was really strong. I didn't have to worry much about my the support stuff. But you need support when you are doing certain things, when you are going off the beaten track, and a lot of times you'll uh, get criticized about it. A lot of times you'll not get a lot of support around it. That is the really hard part, but that's the reality. Any business you get into, initial days will be tough. So that's where the support system will really count on. So that's about the support system. And what else? What else can I say about that? Yeah, get more knowledge about get multi-skilled basically, because eventually, or whatever business you are getting into, some stuff will be related to marketing, some stuff will be related to editing, social media managing, uh, some photography as well. So try and get your hands in learning as many things as you can. And as it said, that learning is a continuous process, and you're never too old to learn anything new. It has helped me a lot from my personal experience since I started traveling. Then I went into photography. Then I started writing and stuff. So that all these things has helped me in creating what I was able to create as in Eksthan, as in website. My IT experience also helped in there. So I've learned project management skills there. So that also helped me. And the photography point helped me in getting good pictures, click myself, because eventually it will come to financials at the end of a day. So more part you will be able to manage yourself, more cost you will save basically. So yeah, so that's my few tips about what I've learned so far in my journey, and yeah, hope it helps you guys as well.
Hmm. So I think those are some fantastic tips. If I was just to bring them all together, first you said that it's important to know what you're excited about when you wake up in the morning. Do you want to do that over and over again?
Yeah.
Second, you said that you need to go deeper into that interest area so you are not starting off and feeling lost after a certain time, and also find financial stability in some way, like you are continuing to be as an IT professional, plus exploring all of these things because there's some security that it provides you. Third, you said about the social support system, because sometimes when things don't work out, we're really discouraged, and sometimes when things do work out, we're encouraged. But social support is much larger than that. And last but not the least, an important point that you raised was multi skilling, because taking any venture forward, we have to do a lot of things on, alongside, from social media to managing of property. If I hear from you in terms of Eksthan itself, I'm sure you're handling with a lot of construction related things as well. So it calls upon us to pick up new skills on the go and not stay only focused on one area, that this is it. And they're all linked in that way. That's a fabulous, fabulous space of understanding that gets created from your journey, Munish. That as a traveler, how that moved into photography, how that moved into solo travels and biking. Then you monetize the biking part, and through a biking club. And now all of this is coming together under Eksthan. And I'm sure after hearing you talk and the place that you have described and the scene that we get to see, I would like to share that that's not a wallpaper. That's the real view of Eksthan where Munish sitting. Am I with you, Munish?
Yes, yes, it's not a wallpaper. There's real grass at the back and real flowers at the back.
So if
It's
somebody,
too green at the moment because it's monsoons. It's too green, so you might think that this is a not real.
yeah. So Munish, if somebody wants to know more about Eksthan, when the travel starts to open up, and if they want to get in touch with you or understand a little bit more about the place that you're coming from, what is the best way to reach out to you?
Yeah, so all my experiences and all my services, they have been the amalgamation of all that has come into the website. That is the exthan.com. Whatever I offer and whatever soon will be coming in will be offered there. So go ahead and check out, guys. And if you have any questions, please post them. I'll be happy to answer.
Thank you. Thank you, Munish, for making time and joining us on the interview line and sharing these fabulous ideas from your journey. I'm sure anyone who's watching this interview line right now will be excited to pick up at least one of their passions, if not all, and do something more about it. Munish's website is shared in our description of this video at Great Unakriti YouTube channel, so you can visit eksthan.com over there. And stay tuned with us at the interview line and on this YouTube channel at Great Unakriti. because you will continue to meet more fabulous people as we move along who will share their journeys, which will be unique in their own way. Munish, before we close this interview, is there any parting word that you have for the audience?
Uh, I think I will just say my tagline for Ixtan, that is discover, experience, and relive. Discover new places. Once you discover those places, experience those places for sure. And once you get the experience, relive those memories in terms of photographs. That's all.
Yes, and that's the mantra that we all should follow and continue to relive the beautiful and pleasant moments of our lives. And don't forget to tap your avatars on an ongoing basis. We at Unakriti would like to thank Munish one more time. And if you have still not subscribed to us, go ahead and subscribe and press the bell button so you do not miss any update from us at Unakriti. Thank you. Stay tuned and see you very soon on this channel. Bye bye for now.